welcome. Today we're going to talk about OmniFocus, specifically a bit about OmniFocus 4. It's, how do you just know specifically what OmniFocus 4, but OmniFocus in general, I suppose. And the fact that it feels like legacy software now. It does not feel like this amazing task manager that I think everybody should use. Yeah, it doesn't even feel like one that's just not suited to me. Just feels like a piece of legacy software. Before we do that, a couple ways you can support the channel. The first one is really to look in the description, go to Skillshare, curtismchale.ca/Skillshare, take one of my courses there. You can find direct links to my courses. My time blocking course you're probably interested in. Talks about how I manage my time. That's it. Let's talk about OmniFocus being legacy software. So OmniFocus, legacy software. With it in test flight for OmniFocus 4, I thought, hey, I should check this out. My task needs have changed recently, going back to February when I picked up a new job, and my task needs just changed. And the other big draw to OmniFocus over top of Things 3, over top of anything else, was that the automation story can be the same because they have OmniFocus JS, where you can really, or OmniJS for all their apps really, where you can do all your automation in one spot for all of the applications. They'll work on Mac, it'll work on iPad, it'll work on your iPhone. So the automation story is in one spot, unlike Things 3, which technically is a different app on your phone and on your iPad, and you need different shortcuts for it. So you have to do a switcher every time, which is a pain in the butt. That's just a pain in the butt. It sucks that it works like that. But the more I've dug into OmniFocus, the more I think that it's legacy software. And that it's just not something for now. And I'll talk about why. Let's look at exactly why OmniFocus I think is legacy software. The first, probably the biggest pain point I have is dealing with your inbox. So I want to work from my keyboard. I want to work from my keyboard on iPad, on Mac, I guess on iPhone? Nah, mostly on iPad and Mac. And I want to do something like move this task into a new project. And ultimately, the way to do that is to start tabbing through, and now I can find a new project. So let's say this is an errand. That's what I have to do. Take that, and if I look at Things 3, and look at an inbox project, then here I can hit Shift-Command-M and just move it to a project. I don't have to try and tab through an interface or anything like that. Even in the quick entry box, I can go Shift-Command-M and move it to a project. I can jump right to that. I can hit Command-S and jump right to the when, so giving it a due date, which for OmniFocus, you just can't do. You have to, I can even multi-select in Things 3. I can multi-select tasks and I can move them all at one time into a project. Here I can multi-select, but again, there is no like Shift-Command-M, nothing, no stock keyboard command. Now I do have a script installed for it, and in this I can hit Control-Command-M, and now I can search a project. So I could say search errands, and now I have two options, but look at this, I gotta touch my mouse because tab does nothing. And now I can go into errands and choose it, and I could move both of them. That's one of the big things that I found frustrating. It's just a pain in the butt. Why do I need some special script to move a task to a new project? That's what I came up with in the OmniFocus forums. Just get this script, it'll do it for you. And that's a pain in the butt. Next thing was the difficulty in finding today tasks. So let's go to perspectives and show perspectives. And the difficulty in finding today, there's another thing. I went to the OmniFocus forums and said, how do I get just a list of today tasks? So I have to come in here and hit status due soon and availability of available, which sounds fine, but also means I have to come in and where is it? Change what due soon means in here. Dates and times, so due soon has to mean today. It can't mean 2 days in the future or anything like that. There's multiple options in here. What's due soon, 24 hours, 2 days, 1 week. Just to give you an idea of what's coming up is the way OmniFocus looks at it. There's no way to do that. Whereas again, in Things 3, there's just the today view. It shows me everything that's due today. Those are the big things that I just kept coming back to, right? As I deal with my inbox every day at the end of the day, trying to sort it so that it's organized, so that I can really work with it and see what I have to do. I just can't. That's it. I just can't deal with all the extra tapping, clicking that OmniFocus makes me do. It feels like a piece of legacy software. Whereas Things 3, yes, it's lighter, and at least at this point, the automation story isn't as nice. Although they have, Cultured Code has said and shown a link to an Apple documentation for iPadOS 15 for, what is it? Monterey, the new Mac OS that's coming out in September-ish, saying that they can unify the shortcuts now, and they're going to. So that means the automation story on that front, because there'll be shortcuts on the Mac as well, will be far better. They'll have a single automation story inside shortcuts instead of Omni.js, which is cool. Like, Omni.js is cool. It's powerful. It does lots of stuff. The big thing that I think that OmniFocus does better than anybody still is their review, right? I can go to our review tab and see that I have a bunch of tasks, and I can go through each of these projects and mark them as reviewed. Mark as reviewed, right? Not that there's anything in here. Well, there is some stuff in here, but not that I like the way they do this, and the way it works on iPad is also absolutely stellar. I think that's the only thing that they have on other task managers at this moment. I don't think that there's anything else that's really amazing about it, and otherwise it feels like a piece of legacy software that was really cool for a while, that people loved because it was awesome, and people continue to love it because it was the awesome thing. It doesn't feel like a modern choice anymore to me. In fact, it so doesn't feel like a modern choice, I let my OmniFocus subscription lapse, which I haven't done in a long time, because I would dive in and out of it thinking, oh, it's really, like, it's good and I love these things and I'd use it sometimes. I cannot see a scenario under which I will really dive into it again for a long time, unless we start getting better keyboard commands. Unless we start getting some actual features that make it feel like a modern piece of software as opposed to a legacy behemoth that was cool and people use because of its history. That's it. If you liked the video, thumbs up below. If you loved it, subscribe, hit the bell. YouTube will let you know what happened. But honestly, you should have your notifications off, because you got kids to visit, books to read, stuff like that. It's probably more important for you. Take my courses at Skillshare. You can find links below. Looking at task management, project management, you can see I have a review of TickTick on Skillshare, which will be linked below. And I also have done a time blocking course. Check that out as well. Or you can go to curtismchale.ca/Skillshare, and you can just take the courses on Skillshare. That'll give me a bit of an affiliate fee. Thank you very much. Other than that, have a good day.